Your wait is over. God's plan is unfolding, my dear brothers and sisters. Have you ever felt as if you were stuck in a season of waiting, a time when every prayer seemed to bounce back, when every effort looked like it was going nowhere? Waiting can be one of the hardest tests of our lives. The nights grow long, the questions grow louder, and sometimes we even begin to wonder, God, where are you in all this? But I'm here to remind you, your wait is over. God's plan is unfolding. The Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes 3:11, He has made everything beautiful in its time. That is God's promise. That is God's character. What feels like delay is often His divine preparation. What looks like silence is actually His careful orchestration of every detail for your good. Your wait is not wasted. It is a sacred part of His perfect plan. When you thought nothing was happening, God was moving. When you felt forgotten, God was drawing you closer. When you were confused, God was preparing clarity. Every tear you cried, every prayer you whispered, every long and lonely night, they were all seen by your loving Father. And now as the sun rises on a new season, God says to you, your wait is over. My plan is unfolding. That means the doors you thought would never open are about to swing wide. That means the answers you've longed for are coming into focus. That means the breakthroughs you thought were impossible will become your testimony. Trust that your God is always working. Even when you cannot see it, even when you cannot feel it, He is faithful. He will never leave you halfway through your story. So stand strong, take a deep breath, lift up your eyes and your hands. Praise Him for what you cannot yet see because your wait is over, and His plan is unfolding even as we speak. Your pain has had a purpose, your patience has built your faith, and your God is going to finish what He started. God's perfect timing, the wait was not wasted. Life has a way of making us wait. Waiting is one of the most difficult experiences we face. Waiting for answers, waiting for breakthroughs, waiting for healing, waiting for God to move it can feel long and sometimes lonely. Every one of us, at one point or another, has been in a season where we wondered, when will my change come? When will my prayers be answered? But I want you to know this truth with every part of your heart. God's perfect timing is always better than our hurried pace. The wait was never wasted. We often don't appreciate the value of waiting when we are in the middle of it. It feels like wasted time, wasted prayers, wasted energy. But in the eyes of God, there is no such thing as wasted time. Every moment you spent waiting was a moment God was preparing you for something greater. Think of the story of David in the Bible. Anointed as king as a teenager, David didn't immediately sit on the throne. Instead, he faced years of struggle, chased by Saul, living in caves, waiting for a promise that felt so far away. But those long years of waiting weren't wasted. They shaped him into the king God had called him to be. They built his character, his humility, his trust in God's power rather than his own. Your wait, too, is not wasted. God's timing is not random, it is always perfect. Ecclesiastes 3:11 reminds us that He has made everything beautiful in its time. This verse is so powerful because it reminds us that God holds every chapter of our lives, and each one unfolds at precisely the right moment. What feels delayed in your eyes is perfectly on schedule in His. When you look back at this season, you will see that every delay was part of God's design. Every prayer you thought went unanswered was actually an opportunity for your faith to grow deeper. Every setback was simply a setup for a greater comeback. Every no you faced was creating space for a better yes. And here's the most amazing part. In the waiting, God is doing a work in you long before He ever does a work for you. Waiting shapes you. Waiting deepens your trust in His goodness. Waiting tests your patience and strengthens your endurance. Waiting reminds you that He is God and you are not, and that is a beautiful thing. God often allows the wait because He knows what is coming on the other side. He is looking at your future, at the doors He will open, at the promises that will unfold. Waiting is not a sign of His absence, it is a sign of His presence. It is proof that something important is underway, even if you cannot yet see it. And when His perfect timing arrives, oh, what a glorious day that will be. What once felt delayed will seem perfectly orchestrated. What once felt confusing will make sense. What once felt like endless delay will feel like careful preparation for your divine appointment. So my encouragement to you is this: Trust the process, because the process is making you ready for the promise. Your wait is not wasted. Every moment you wondered was a moment God was working. Every prayer you whispered was heard and kept by a Father who loves you more than you can imagine. Do not grow weary in your waiting. Do not lose heart. The God who holds the stars in place is holding your story too. His timing is perfect, and the same God who was faithful to David, to Abraham, to Sarah, to Hannah, to all who have ever hoped and believed will be faithful to you. Lift your eyes up, dear one. The wait is drawing to a close. The morning light is breaking on the horizon. God is weaving all things together, the tests and the triumphs, the delays and the deliveries, into a beautiful story of grace. And when you stand in the place you've been waiting for, when you look around at the beauty of what God has done, you will smile, because then you will know for sure what your soul already hoped for in the dark. God's perfect timing was always better than your rushed timeline. The wait was never wasted. It was the very path to your miracle. Keep your heart open, keep your hands raised, and most of all, keep your trust rooted in Him. The wait is not forever. The wait is preparing you for forever. Every tear and prayer was seen and heard, my dear brothers and sisters. There are moments in life when we feel utterly alone, moments when the nights seem long, when our hearts ache, and when the weight of our troubles feels too much to bear. In those dark and silent spaces, our tears often fall like unspoken prayers. Our hearts cry out to God for answers, for comfort, for rescue, and sometimes it feels like nobody is listening. But I want to remind you of a profound, beautiful truth today. Every tear you have ever cried and every prayer you have ever whispered was seen and heard by your loving Father. Psalm 56:8 paints this picture so perfectly. It says, "You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book." Imagine that every tear you thought was wasted or unnoticed was carefully gathered by the God who loves you. Nothing escapes His attention, not your pain, not your fears, not your deep, silent prayers. Your cries have never been ignored. Your tears matter because you matter. When you were crying into your pillow at midnight, thinking no one could understand the heaviness inside your heart, God was right there, listening, feeling every ounce of your sorrow. Every time you prayed for strength, hoping you'd make it through the day, God was already supplying you with what you needed. Every tear was like a heartfelt prayer, one that spoke directly to the throne of God's mercy. And that's because you are never truly alone. Even when people may not understand you, even when those around you can't fully grasp what you're going through, God knows every detail. Every struggle you face is visible to Him. Every prayer that escapes your lips or even just lingers silently in your heart reaches Him. And the most amazing part is this: God responds. He responds with His perfect timing and His perfect plan. It may not always look like what we expected or come as quickly as we hoped, but every single prayer is heard, every single tear is seen, and God, who is rich in compassion, will move on your behalf. Jesus Himself reminded us that God knows even the number of hairs on our heads. How much more then will He not care for your tears? How much more will He not treasure your prayers? There may be seasons where you cannot see the evidence of God's hand moving. But in those seasons especially, you must hold on to this powerful truth. Every tear and every prayer is seen and heard. Your prayers are never wasted. Every heartfelt cry is a seed being sown into God's purpose for your life. Every tear is a testimony to your dependence on Him, and God honors that humility. So today, if you feel like your heart is heavy, or if you wonder whether God really hears you, I encourage you to lean into this promise. Trust that God is not distant. Trust that your weeping is never in vain. Trust that behind every tear is a Father who loves you more than you can comprehend. And remember this: one day, all those tears will give way to joy. Psalm 30:5 reminds us, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." The morning is coming for you. The light will break through your dark sky. And when it does, you will look back and realize that every prayer and every tear was part of a beautiful story of God's faithfulness. Keep pouring your heart out before Him. Keep crying those honest tears. Keep lifting up those heartfelt prayers. Why? Because every tear and every prayer is a sacred offering. Every tear and every prayer is noticed by God. Every tear and every prayer is shaping you into who He has created you to be. And most importantly, every tear and every prayer is drawing you closer to the one who loves you with an everlasting love. Your God is close to the brokenhearted. Your God is listening. And one glorious day, every tear will be wiped away by the very hands that hold you right now. Your season of delay has become a season of preparation, my dear brothers and sisters. Have you ever felt like you were stuck in a waiting room, a place where nothing seems to happen, where progress feels stalled, and where the promises you hold so dearly seem delayed? Seasons of delay can be some of the most challenging times in our lives. They stretch our patience, they test our faith, and they make us wonder, why am I still waiting, God? But today I want to encourage you with this powerful and hopeful truth. Your season of delay is not wasted, it has become a season of preparation. You see, God never wastes a moment. Even when it looks like nothing is happening, something is always moving behind the scenes. Even when we cannot see the way forward, God is preparing the way for us. What feels like delay to us is often divine preparation in God's hands. Think about some of the great heroes of faith: Moses, David, Joseph, and so many others. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading the Israelites out of Egypt. David spent years in obscurity before becoming king. Joseph was sold into slavery and spent years in prison before becoming the most powerful man in Egypt next to Pharaoh. Each one of them faced long seasons of waiting and seeming delays. But what appeared to be a pause was actually a process. What felt like delay was, in fact, preparation. God was using those times to shape them into the leaders, servants, and examples they were destined to be. And the same is true for you. Your season of delay, whatever it looks like, is not evidence of God's absence. It's proof of His careful attention to your life. Every delay is an invitation for deeper trust. Every pause is an opportunity to grow in character, to develop resilience, and to gain wisdom that will serve you well when your moment finally arrives. When we trust God in the delay, we begin to see that what we thought was a no was really a not yet. What we thought was wasted time was actually sacred time to prepare us for greater things. God is shaping your character so you can carry the weight of His blessings with integrity. He's building your patience so you can wait well and not grow weary. He's teaching you to lean on Him so that when success and provision come, you will never forget the source of every good thing. And even though you may not feel like you're moving, God is moving the hearts of others, moving circumstances into place, moving the pieces of your future into perfect alignment. Your job in this season is to trust the process, to embrace the preparation, to believe that your waiting is a sign of God's love, not His neglect. Every delay is making you stronger. Every obstacle is making you wiser. Every period of stillness is making you more attuned to His voice. And when the day finally comes, and you will see clearly that you weren't just waiting, you were being readied for the promise. You were not overlooked, you were carefully equipped. When you look back on this season of delay, you will thank God for it. You will thank Him for using this time to prune what was unhealthy in you. You will thank Him for showing you what truly matters. And you will thank Him for deepening your faith, so that when the doors of opportunity swing wide, you will be prepared to walk through them with confidence and humility. So, hold your head up high. Take heart. Your delay is not denial. Your delay is preparation, a powerful, God-ordained preparation. And what God prepares, He always fulfills. Your story is unfolding exactly as it should. Your future is being built on a firm, tested foundation. Your season of delay is becoming your season of strength. Doors are opening as God's plan unfolds, my dear brothers and sisters. Have you ever felt trapped behind a door that simply wouldn't budge, a door that kept you from moving forward, from reaching your goals, or from stepping into the fullness of what God has for you? Maybe you've knocked and knocked, only to feel like nothing was changing, but I want to speak encouragement into your heart today. Doors are opening as God's plan unfolds. Sometimes we don't realize that God Himself holds the keys to every door in our lives. Revelation 3 7 reminds us that Jesus is the one who opens so that none can shut, and shuts so that none can open. That is the power and authority of our Savior. If a door hasn't opened yet, it's not because God forgot you, it's because He's making sure you are perfectly prepared to walk through it when the time is right. And here's the beautiful truth. When God opens a door, no one and nothing can close it. You may have faced closed doors, closed opportunities, closed relationships, or closed chapters that left you wondering if a better way would come. But those closed doors were not meant to defeat you. They were meant to direct you. God was turning you toward the right path at the perfect moment. He is a God of divine timing, and the same God who told Abraham to leave behind everything familiar and trust the path ahead is still the God who holds your future. The same God who opened prison doors for Joseph and palace doors for Esther is the God who will open the right doors for you. You see, God's plan is never stagnant. Even in the silence, even in the waiting, His plan is unfolding. Even when we can't see the blueprint, the master builder is at work. Every delay you experienced was not a denial. Every setback was part of the setup for a greater comeback. And when God's plan unfolds, His doors swing open at exactly the right time. That means it doesn't matter who tried to stop you. It doesn't matter what mistakes you made. It doesn't matter what looks impossible to human eyes. When God says it's your time, it's your time. And in that appointed season, you will step into new places you never thought possible. You will walk through doors of healing and restoration. You will step into doors of purpose and blessing. You will enter into doors that lead to new opportunities and new joy. Why? Because God is faithful to complete the good work He started in you, Philippians 1:6. Because God sees the bigger picture when all you can see is the next step. And because God loves you too much to leave you in yesterday when He's calling you into tomorrow. That's why we can wait with hopeful expectation, knowing that one by one, the right doors will open. Your part is to stay faithful. Your part is to stay prayerful. Your part is to keep your heart tender to God's voice so that when the doors swing wide, you will be ready to walk through with courage and humility. And when those doors do open, you will look back on this very moment and realize that all the waiting was preparing you to appreciate the blessing. Every closed door was teaching you to trust the God who opens them. Every challenge was developing the strength you'll need for the next chapter. So take heart. Your God is working behind the scenes. Your God is moving things into place. Your God is stirring hearts and orchestrating circumstances. And most importantly, your God is about to open some incredible doors. Keep your eyes on Him. Keep your hands open to receive. And keep your spirit anchored in the promise that what God opens for you cannot be closed by anyone. Your past can't stop you. Your mistakes can't stop you. Your fears can't stop you. Because your Heavenly Father is unfolding a plan far greater than you can imagine. And He's making sure every door you need is going to open at the perfect time. Lift up your faith, lift up your praise, and get ready to walk into a season where God's plan unfolds one open door at a time. Your wait is over. Step boldly into His promises, my dear brothers and sisters. There comes a time when waiting is no longer your story. A time when the promises you have hoped for, the prayers you have whispered, and the dreams you have nurtured in the secret places of your heart finally come to pass. And I believe with all my heart that for someone reading this right now, your wait is over and God is calling you to step boldly into His promises. We often talk about waiting on God as if it is the most significant part of the journey. But let me remind you, waiting is only one chapter. There is a chapter after the wait, a chapter where promises bloom, a chapter where faith becomes sight, a chapter where your obedience and endurance bear the sweetest of fruits. And this is that chapter for you. Your wait was never meant to last forever. God allowed it for a purpose, to grow you, to shape you, to prepare you. But the moment has come for you to leave the waiting room and to boldly enter the door God Himself has opened. You may feel unqualified. You may feel unready. You may feel scared of the unknown. But hear this clearly: when God says it's time, His voice is the only one that matters. Your wait is over because God is saying so, not because you figured it all out, not because you feel perfect, and not because all your fears have disappeared. It's because the God who created you and who loves you with an everlasting love is declaring that this is your season to walk into all that He has prepared for you. And stepping into His promises requires boldness, a courageous faith that believes the one who called you is also the one who will equip you. Look at Joshua in the Bible. After Moses had died, Joshua was left with the daunting task of leading the people into the promised land. God told him clearly in Joshua 1:9, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." That same encouragement rings true for you today. Wherever God is sending you into a new career, into a new ministry, into a season of healing, into a calling you never thought you could fulfill, He will go with you. Every step you take will be supported by His grace. Every challenge you face will be met with His power. Every fear you feel will bow to His peace. Your wait is over because your preparation is complete. You've been praying, you've been seeking, you've been faithful even when you couldn't see. And now, God is honoring that quiet faithfulness by placing promises into your hands. Don't let fear hold you back from receiving what God has for you. Don't let past disappointments convince you to hesitate. Don't let yesterday's failures keep you from stepping boldly into your tomorrow. God is not looking at your past, He's looking at your potential. He's not focused on your weakness, He's focused on His strength within you. He's not measuring your fear, He's measuring your faith. And when you take that first bold step toward His promises, you'll discover that you were never alone, and that every door you touch will swing wide open under the authority of His name. So stand up, shake off every ounce of doubt, lift your eyes to the hills from where your help comes. Give thanks for the season that shaped you and then leave it behind. Your wait is over, your new chapter is here. And your faithful God is going before you, making a way where there seemed to be no way. He who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. He who spoke promises over your life is faithful to fulfill them. And He who led you through the waiting will lead you now into a glorious harvest. Your wait is over, so take heart, take courage, and take that bold step into all that God has for you.